What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 23 rebuild where we're going to be rebuilding the New York Jets. 5 seasons using Madden-generated draft classes to try to build off of what was an outstanding 2022 NFL draft, where the Jets got Breece Hall, 76, hidden dev rookie, Garrett Wilson, 76, hidden dev rookie, Jermaine Johnson, 74, hidden dev rookie, and maybe the pound-for-pound top player in the draft class, Gardner, 78 hidden dev. They literally had like a C4 draft, but except they did it in real life. So for today's rebuild, we are now doing realistic rebuilds. I feel like for my upload schedule, I want to do regular rebuild, realistic rebuild, regular rebuild, realistic rebuild, kind of alternate between the two. So we are going to be trying to keep that balance here, because the teams I want to rebuild the Bears, I want to rebuild the Lions, but I think both those, for at least the first rebuild, I personally think it'd be more interesting using real college players to see if we can improve those teams. And I was like, well, what team's still fun that doesn't really need real college players? Oh, let's just go with the team that had the most stacked 2022 draft class, where we have a bunch of exciting new young players, and that is very much the Jets. Can we get 1,000 likes on today's video, fellas, just to appease the YouTube robots? I very much appreciate if we can hit that, as well as make sure you guys leave me in the comment section below what team you want to see rebuilt next. Let's take a look at this squad. Let's get a little bit of a breakdown. I usually like breaking it down right here, but the menus are so laggy. We're going to go to the other view, but this is really our starting lineup right now. Here are the dev traits. Some stars, got some hidden devs. Mekhi Becton, at least in this rebuild, will be healthy. He is that superstar, the big ticket at right tackle. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got just a bunch of stars. Johnson, Sauce with the hidden devs. I'm happy that Hall there got a star dev. He's going to be a player that I think we need to really develop, really take off with his growth and development. But take a look at our roster. So at quarterback, we have all Zach Wilson. Now, the good thing is that we got Joe Flacco with his mentor tag, so it's going to give that extra XP boost to Zach Wilson. And you look at Zach Wilson, the MILF Hunter himself. There's a lot to like. He's a very fun Madden quarterback, even though last year, we're not going to talk about it, we did not have the funnest of times with Zach Wilson in our Eagles franchise, but he's a good player, and absolutely still can't write him off. I think from a standpoint, if you're a Jets fan in real life, or even if you're a Jets fan, you're playing Madden, there's absolutely justification for that player tag of quarterback of the future. He has all the things. It's just, I almost feel like you need to have the team around him. That's been the missing piece, I would say. For the running back room, it is really headlined by 2 guys here at the top. We have Michael Carter, who's a 75, really decent. Didn't really start last year, but when he played and when he did get a start here and there, he was very productive. But the thing about Michael Carter is that he was at his best, I think, when he was part of a duo at North Carolina with Javonte Williams. It was absolutely ridiculous. Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, that last year in North Carolina that they were unstoppable. They both got 100 yards a game. So maybe the Jets also agree with this. So they went out and drafted Breece Hall, who was arguably RB1 for the 2022 draft class. 76 with a hidden dev, 220 pounds, 91 speed, 92 acceleration, 90 agility. Very, very nimble, but also can pack a punch. So I think we have a terrific 1-2 punch. I hope the sim kind of works out that way too, that both these guys get their touches. Because, we can keep this together. Because unfortunately, usually, there's a couple teams that are the outliers, but usually you only end up having to really commit to one running back. Once it comes time to pay Michael Carter, we're probably just going to let him walk because you only really have Breece Hall getting the stats. So hopefully the playbook here works out for the Jets and both these guys. So, get like Breece Hall with 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, so Michael Carter's getting 700-800 yards, something crazy like that. That'd be kind of cool, even if something like that kind of shaved off some of the big-time numbers that Zach Wilson could be putting up there. The wide receiver room, we got Corey Davis, who you can't really write him off yet, but you're a little bit worried because he had his breakout year with the Tennessee Titans, hit the open market. Jets paid him big bucks, and he's been disappointing, but there's still absolutely a player in there. He's 27. Hopefully it works out for us. We're going to need him. We have Elijah Moore, 79 star dev, second-year player out of Ole Miss. Shifty player, most likely going to be a slot wide receiver for us. 92 speed, 91 acceleration, 88 catching. Got some pretty good agility. Garrett Wilson, the first-round pick out of Ohio State, 76 hidden dev. One of the best players in terms of, even though he's 86 jumping and you watch him play, one of the best jump balls. This guy can get up and win like he's 6'4", 240, 230, like Claypool or like Mike Williams on the Chargers or something like that. Just a very good football player. One hell of a draft pick there. We got dudes though. Braxton Berrios is here. He's a guy that would be a starting slot wide receiver on most teams. I don't hate the idea of him being on the trade block, though. There should be some value there from a turn man specialist, from a guy that, if you're looking around the league as far as a bench player that could be a starting slot. I mean, they just paid him, which is a weird contract to have, but he's a good player. I signed Mo Sanu of free agency just because I need a mentor. Going even down to Mims, who looks like he's going to have his little moment to shine in our Panthers series, but Mims, Wilson, Moore in particular, let's get someone that can help them in terms of their development. So I brought in Mo Sanu just for a 1-year type deal. At tight end, they signed Uzuma from the Cincinnati Bengals. He is a 79 with a star dev. Unfortunately, he is also 29. So for the prospects of a 5-year rebuild, we are going to need to at least get our long-term successor. I mean, even both our tight ends. Okay, they're solid tight ends for the most part. You have the rookie Jeremy Ruckert here out of Ohio State. But I'm still, tight ends, that's a position right now that we have a lot of expensive options that aren't great within the context of a rebuild. So we're going to have to figure out that tight end spot, I think, during this rebuild. Offensive line, you got George Fant here at left tackle, serviceable for the time being. But we are going to have to get our we're going to actually get rid of this guy right now, save about $1 million. The salary cap for the Jets is not particularly hot, so let's save a couple bucks here or there. So we are going to need to look for a left tackle at some point. Left guard, you got Laken Tomlinson, serviceable. He's 81. He is 30, though, so he's pretty much at his ceiling. The left-hand side of the offensive line is going to need some TLC in the draft. Even center, you got McGovern, you got Feeney. Solid for the time being. Like, absolutely fits their player tag. They're a bridge player until we can draft someone better. Right-hand side of the line looks a lot better. You got AVT here from USC, 74 with that star dev. So there is a high ceiling, at least perceived high ceiling there. And then you got the big ticket, Mekhi Becton, who in real life, he got hurt. In this, he is healthy, 78 with that superstar dev, 6'7", 365 pounds. What a monster. And he's so good. When he's been on the field for the Jets and playing like in-game, he looks every bit of a bona fide franchise tackle. He just, unfortunately, got to find a way to stay healthy. But at least here today, he is going to be a big-time guy. I might even, move him left tackle if I want to. Flipping to the defense. So we have at left defensive end, John Franklin Myers. Good player, 81 with the start of, only 25 years old. Here's where it's going to get a little interesting, though, because we're a 4-3, right? Because we got Jermaine Johnson, 6'5", 260, 74 with that hidden dev. Great athlete, high upside for sure. Like, maybe we move Franklin Myers into D-tackle. You got Carl Lawson. Yeah, we're definitely in a 4-3. You got Carl Lawson, who unfortunately suffered an injury early last year, but he was terrific last playing for the Bengals, and fully healthy, he's going to be a great pass rusher for the Jets. Great athlete as well. Great user, if I was actually hopping on the sticks. And then you look at D-tackle here, I don't think there's any worry after Quinnen Williams, who's an outstanding player, 86 with the start of, only 24 years old. We are going to have to pay him a pretty substantial contract here sooner than later, but I have no problem paying that. We might be best suited to move Franklin Myers at 6'4", 292 to D-tackle. He might sacrifice a little bit as far as run defense is concerned, but he easily would be the second best option at defensive tackle, and that would clear the way to go Jermaine Johnson and Carl Lawson there at pass rush. So we're going to actually do that right now. Someone like John, he might go up too. He's 81 as a defensive end, and when we slide him into defensive tackle, will he get any sort of a ratings boost or will he get nerfed? And he goes up 1 point. So there we go. I think we have just, massively improved the quality of life here of our front four. Go to the linebacking core. We have Quincy Williams, who laid a stupid, dirty hit on Jalen Hurts in the preseason game. So I'm not personally a big fan right now. I won't outright cut him because we don't have many bodies there at linebacker, but it's something we're going to consider. CJ Mosley is the veteran of the group, 82 with the star dev, but he is 30, so he's getting very close to that stage of regression. My God, these linebackers are terrible. Why did they get rid of Blake Cashman, We're going to have to fix that. Secondary, we got DJ Reed, who's solid. Not spectacular by any means, but you get a guy that's 80, 25 with the normal dev. You can work with that, given the circumstances of our corner room. Then on the outside, we can go Bryce Hall, 79 star. And on the other side, we can start the rookie corner, Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati, 78 with the hidden dev. I signed Josh Norman off the free agent heap for the mentor tag, because really all three of those guys ahead of him can't get it. You even have Michael Carter II. He has the future starter player tag. He can get that extra XP. So I thought this was another position group that was very much warranting something like that. We have LaMarcus Joyner and Ashton Davis. I might actually just start Ashton Davis here because he is only 25, still has that dev trait. If he doesn't start this year, we almost certainly are going to lose that dev trait with dev trait regression on. So we will make Ashton Davis a starter. And then they got a great signing, a guy that I was screaming, if you follow me on Twitter, for Philly to sign to the open market. Jordan Whitehead's coming over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 77 with a normal dev. Zerline, Greg the Leg, Braden Mann at punter. And do we have any crazy picks? We got a lot of picks in the 6th round. We do a lot of damage, but ultimately, very fun-looking roster. I think we are going to surprise a lot of people, and I will be shocked if come the end of 5 full seasons, we are not Super Bowl champions. So without further ado, let's get into year 1 of the rebuild. So we were able to make a trade here, shifting off some of our top depth and getting back something at a position of need. So we were able to send Braxton Berrios, 75 normal dev, but as we saw, he was, we are eating actually a lot of dead cap on that deal. But I think he's just too good for our team right now, and there was definitely value there. And then we had Bryce Huff, who was 24 years old, 75 star dev defensive end, but we weren't going to play him over Jermaine Johnson. We weren't going to play him over Carl Lawson, so he's absolutely surplus requirement. So I looked around, and we had the Chargers here, who had Kenneth Murray Jr., who's been struggling a little bit, but he's still a 73 star dev, still has more than enough opportunity to reach his high ceiling, but he's definitely been a little bit disappointing. I mean, I've actually had a lot of Chargers fans saying Kaiser White, who they let walk, and my Eagles signed on a 1-year deal, is better than Kenneth Murray Jr. So we desperately needed a linebacker. He was like the most realistic linebacker that still had some upside that we could trade for. And then to kind of compensate for the fact that we're given 2 really good spot spreaders, like Berrios is going to be the starting slot wide receiver for the Chargers. Huff is going to be the top rotational depth at D end. We have got a 3rd and a 4th round pick also in return. We have another depth piece where they hit it at Jacob Martin here, 73 star dev, only 26. And understand that we still have a massive hole here at right outside linebacker. I wonder what we could find that's in this ballpark. Let's look at Gator here using the trade finder option. So we threw Martin here in the request to trade. He hit Y to get some offers. We are looking for a linebacker that's a little bit better than Noah Dawkins. As you can see, I mean, there's some interesting. Caden Stearns is a good player. We got Perriman, Jerry Tillery, if you want to go back to the Chargers well. Neville Gallimore, we get a nice Canadian D tackle, and there are 2 Canadian D tackles. Have him and Nathan Shepard. Brandon Jones, we need a linebacker here. None of those safeties are like big safeties that I could convert to like a smaller linebacker. Julian Acquire is not too bad, but he's a pass rusher more than he is an actual linebacker. Ian Thomas there, Keelan Cole, Ernest Jones. He's probably still young, low 20s. He's got Matt Abuke from the Raiders. That's actually probably the best straight up value. I don't know why obviously maybe they need an edge. Then they do need someone on that front 3. We got Goodwin, Yadam. So we have the best of the best is Ernest. I don't know how old he is. And we got Jake Funk, white running back, cool. Usually up for that. But we'll make that trade because I guarantee he's no older than his 2nd year into the league. I don't think he has a dev trade or anything crazy like that. But that is our current starting outside linebackers, like a 68, 69. Let's take a look here. Funk, obviously, is just running back depth. He is Ernest Jones, only 22. 2nd-year player out of South Carolina. Maybe Bobby Wagner going to the Rams made him a little bit more of a surplus requirement. But we move him to outside linebacker, and he goes up to a 74 with the boost. 73 base, which is a lot more useful for us. Even though we lost the dev trait there a little bit, Martin was going to lose his dev anyway. He wasn't going to play. So we have single-handedly, through a couple moves here, shifted our depth around, and our linebacking core looks, you know what else we can do? I know his brother's on the team, Quinnen Williams, but I can't forgive that dirty hit in the preseason game against Jalen Hurts. I cannot do it. Get off my team. We will start this year with modest season goal. We'll go for 7 wins. In year 1, a player thriving in Robert Saleh's scheme, Jordan Whitehead, the free agency signing coming from the Bucs in his first year, gets his star dev upgrade. Plus 10K XP. Let's go. Before we talk about contract extensions, need to show full respect to the rookie Sauce Gardner, Week 7 AFC Defensive Player of the Week. 8 tackles, 2 picks, one of them being a pick 6. What a beast. As far as contract extensions are concerned here in year 1, we're just going to be trimming a lot of dead weight, I think, all things considered. George Fant is really the only, some of our veterans here on the offensive line, but that's where I've also been kind of targeting our scouting. It's a strong class for tackles, so we've kind of covered our bases there. I think we're just going to let literally everybody walk and start, recovering our salary cap situation a little bit. We don't need these bloated veterans. We got lots of young talent on this roster that I want to gamble on. At the end of year 1, shocking almost everybody. The Jets make the playoffs, 10-7, runners up, just a game behind the very overpowered Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. Exceptional. Give Robert Saleh, he better get coach of the year. Looking at the big picture, I don't think we're going to see anybody here from our team, but that's absolutely fine because most of our team is not even in their prime yet. Zach Wilson was solid, 4,500 yards, 34 touchdowns to 15 picks. I will take that for him. On the rushing end, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns for Breece Hall. Unfortunately, don't really have a lot of touches, a lot of production there for Michael Carter. So, you know, that 1-2 punch that we kind of envisioned, not necessarily the case. At least Breece Hall's an absolute stud. Elijah Moore led the team, 90 catches, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns for our slot wide receiver. 900 yards, 8 touchdowns for Garrett Wilson. 900 yards, 5 touchdowns for Corey Davis. Decent year out of Uzama as well. 800 yards, 6 touchdowns for the tight end. Defensively, Kenneth Murray, great return on investment in that trade with the Chargers. 132 tackles, 6 TFLs for us. Over 100 tackles for CJ Mosley as well. 9 sacks, Quinton Williams. 9 sacks for the rookie Jermaine Johnson, as well as 11 TFLs. 9 sacks for Carl Lawson. 8.5 for John Franklin Myers. 17 TFLs for him. So our front four is really, you know, no one in double digits, but that's still pretty acceptable, I think. 3 picks DJ Reed. 3 picks Sauce Gardner. 3 picks Bryce. All 3 of our starting corners. Almost 10 interceptions between the trio. I'm very happy with really all of these numbers. This is a great starting point. MVP goes to Joe Burrow this season. And taking a look here in the AFC, Offensive Player of the Year goes to Tyler Boyd. We got Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson at number 2. So hopefully, you know, Breece Hall's at least going to be in the conversation for a dev trade increase up to superstar. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jermaine Johnson. Sauce Gardner. Wouldn't like Sauce because I would say if anyone on this Jets defense deserves to go up dev, that's a rookie class. It is Sauce. I thought he got robbed of the superstar, to be honest with you. But at least we have 2 players that have a chance at going up dev trade. That is better than most years, to say the least. No other outright award winners. That's fine, because we are just so happy. The building is buzzing. It is going to actually be the first of many. What do we got here? We got something that's going to give our team like plus 10 boost here. We're going to play it cool. Obviously, Robert Saleh. I genuinely like Robert Saleh as a head coach. Really, my only real opinion of him is after that said dirty hit in the Eagles preseason game, which Quincy Williams hit Jalen Hurts. He pretty much said it was a just terrible hit. I was like, you know what? That's a great way to handle that. I wonder how he's going to handle this one as our team gets pumped in the first round of the playoffs. 35-14. We fall to Matt Ryan. Just different stages. You know, the Colts got Matt Ryan because they were quarterback away. We are just very much overachievers this year, making the playoffs to begin with. So I'm happy to make it, and we'll build upon this year in year 2. For Jermaine Johnson, after spending his upgrade, he gets the dev trade increase up to a superstar. And we got 2 points here to spend for Breece Hall at season's end. I'm fully expecting this. There'll also be a nice, shiny, beautiful, Goldie boy. And that's exactly what it is. Let's go. And it's something that no one wanted to see as the 2022 season comes to a close. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Bills in an all-time classic 45-42. Dak Prescott winning the MVP. So to make that, you know, let's just move on from that. Let's take a look at our team as we cleared our lockers. As far as dev traits are concerned, no one lost a dev unless like I'm missing something egregiously. Breece Hall went up to a superstar. Garrett Wilson's dev got unveiled as a star. And on the defensive side, no one went down a dev trait. Jermaine Johnson went up to a superstar. Sauce Gardner got unveiled as a star. That should be, honestly, I would like to switch those, but it is what it is. I'm sure Sauce is going to have more opportunities to try and help that dev trade. Jordan Whitehead went up dev in season. And really, I mean, outside of Ernest Jones, who we trade for, and he's still solid, his defense, no real weakness. Robert Saleh, it's starting to come all together for you, bud. Now let's go to free agency, looking at where we could get better. You know, maybe more so focus on the offensive side, right tackle, left tackle, whatever you want to do with Becton, slide him wherever we need a tackle. We could probably need a center. And, you know, maybe playing for life beyond Lincoln. It's all, I think, around the offensive line and or tight end, because even though both those tight ends have star devs, they're pretty old. So let's see what's on the open market. For free agent, I'm only really trying to target one guy. There was another player that I thought about, and within the context of Robert Saleh makes sense, and Dre Greenlaw coming over from the 49ers. But Ernest Jones is 3 years younger and like 3 or 4 overall points off. So I think we're probably better far ahead with that. So we're going to be just taking a look at one signing here, and we're going to look at Eric McCoy at center. There didn't look to be any good centers in the draft, so it's kind of the one position I don't know if this, you know, this was really our only opportunity to improve that position. So happy to land Eric McCoy, who also is a scheme fit. Our final piece of business for this first free agency is picking up the 5th-year option on the big ticket Mekhi Becton. I forgot Kenneth Murray also was a first-round pick. Yeah, we got the cap. We'll pick up his fifth-year option as well. So it was important for me here in the 2023 draft. I wanted to trade back because I have 2 guys, maybe even 3 guys in that second to third round range that I really, really want. So we have the Bucks here offering us a first and second round pick to move back. Couple spots there, 8 spots. I think we could do it. The tackles are not quite there. And that second round pick, the additional second that we're picking up, is going to be very important. So here's why. The tackle that we wanted, the only tackle that we got a legit first round grade. He was going late first round every single time. But on top of that, we have this guy, Mateo Feliz, tight end, 2-3. He is a first round talent. We also, I mean, even there, you got Thurston, who we could have got. I felt comfortable that one of those 2 tackles are going to be there when we trade it down. But we want Feliz in the second round. We also are looking down here at a linebacker. Look, there's another value tackle right there as well that we might be able to get. I could actually probably pull the trigger there if I wanted to, but this guy, Jaleel Colvin, pass coverage linebacker, as much as Ernest Jones, we got him in. A pursuit, B tackle, A zone coverage. He's going to be a very good player. So I think just trying to find a way to get Colvin and that tight end there in the second round was a priority. Now we have the draft capital to do so. So now we get to pick our pick, and I'm going to take the best of the bunch at left tackle, Tony Gore out of LSU. Hidden dev, my God, that strength is god-awful. That's like the lowest strength I've seen on a lineman in quite some time. I want to move up less than 10 spots here in the second round. I got to get that tight end. I was a little worried. The Titans probably need tight end help. I don't know if they scouted the guy. So we package our first, second, and our fourth round pick to move up so I can get this tight end. Mateo Feliz from Notre Dame. Notre Dame has a great pipeline of developing tight ends. 6'2", 240. I mean, it's a little bit of a niche size, but A, catching traffic, A, catching, B, deep routing, A, run block, and he's first in the 40, first in the vert, first in the broad, first in the 20-yard shuttle. This guy, dev trade or not, he is going to be a great player. No way! 26, Colvin, the linebacker that we wanted, off the board. I am shocked. He wasn't anywhere near like the players that were available. God damn it. Oh, that's a kick in the pills right there. Oh, man. All right, now we'll just go. I mean, the next highest player on our board here was Danny Brooks at center. I mean, we get, again, more so looking for a guard replacement in the future for Laken Tomlinson. The stats all look really good on Danny Brooks. So here is our consolation prize, and he doesn't even pop with it. I can't believe we missed out on linebacker. We will look in the draft recap just to see what we missed out on. I'm praying he's also a normal dev. The one that got away, Jaleel Colvin, 71 hit. I just be a star. I can live with it. If it's a star, those guys, I'm not going to say they're a dime a dozen, but brutal. Absolutely brutal. So looking at our own draft haul, it was still good. That, you can't let that one bad miss. And it wasn't even a bad miss. Like, what are the odds, right? What are the odds? A guy that was like still a little off the board goes right before you pick. It happens all the time. Tony Gore, 75, hidden dev, going to be a day one starter for us. Feliz, even though he doesn't have the dev, this guy looks really, really special. 88 speed with the boost, 89 catching, 87 acceleration. He can block as well. Very well-rounded. Absolutely our future, the tight end spot. Brooks at center, and, he'll probably cross-trained at guard a little bit. 72 normal. Rest of my draft until the very end was all normal dev players. Got 64, 65. You're really just trying to chase that missed linebacker pick, and the talent really did fall off there, unfortunately. 6'3 tackle. Got a 71 kicker, just maybe challenge Legatron. 6'6 tackle, we got a 68 safety, 71 running back. In the 6th round, we got Ricky Coleman at tight end, just a flyer. We had a little bit of scouting done to the tight end market. He popped with a dev trade. So, I mean, in terms of getting cheaper at tight end, we can move on from Conklin and Azuma sooner and later and go with Feliz and with Coleman. And then we finish up with Paul Walker. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. And guess how I drafted this guy? Just guess. Just take a guess what stood out. Year 2 for the Jets, and here is how things are going to change. We get a brand new left tackle, Gore, our first round pick. I actually wanted to double check at the stats, man, because he came in really low strength. 78 strength, but he pops with 77 awareness and all of his pass block 82, finesse 82, power 81. So that kind of makes sense. He's an absolute technician at the tackle spot. We got Eric McCoy coming in through free agency, starting at center. I'm going to go Feliz just for the upside over the dev traits, veteran tight ends, just because I think there might be something really, really special there. And for the rest of the offense, the biggest change is Breece Hall is now a superstar running back. But I'm expecting between Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and even Feliz, one of these guys will go up dev trait between now and the end of the season. Defensively, we have our new superstar pass rusher, Jermaine Johnson, as well as Myers, Williams, and Lawson making up our D-line. Mosley, Murray, and Jones are our linebackers returning for another year. Whitehead and Davis at safety. Hall, Sauce, and Reed at corner. And we all just got to find a way to move on from missing on that superstar linebacker that we properly identified and put all of that anger and aggression into here in year 2, making the playoffs yet again in back-to-back seasons, maybe outright beating the Bills and trying to win the division. Can't really go backwards in a rebuild like this, so our goal here in year 2 is to make the playoffs. Year 2 contract extension time. I'm glad we have $71 million because I really do actually want to keep a lot of these guys. So first up, we have Ashton Davis. We'll give him a player-friendly 3-year deal, able to lock him up. We got Quinnen Williams. This is going to be expensive, but he is such a badass player. So we're going to give him a 4-year so he's here for the remainder of the rebuild. Get him locked in. Him and Franklin Myers are beasts. Carl Lawson at D-end. 3-year deal is actually, like, that's perfect if he will take this. I don't want to go any more on the year side because I'll be here for his prime. We get out of him as far as the contract is concerned before he starts to regress. We got Bryce Hall at corner. We're going to have to give him a player-friendly deal. I think he is very low interest. We might have to go very player-friendly, but you can't really let an 86 star dev corner at 25 leave during his prime. I think we could save a couple bucks here on Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson. That could be our wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and then we go a little bit cheaper at wide receiver 3. Whitehead went up dev trade, so I want to continue to... wow. All right, we'll come back to the table with him, give him a little bit more aggressive deal, but Whitehead and Bryce Hall both are not leaving this team. We're going to get Bryce Hall in a very player-friendly deal, and I think we'll have to just hit Jordan Whitehead with a player-friendly deal. Bag has been secured. Talent has been secured. Year 2 comes to a close, and I honestly think that Week 18 shootout victory, 43-40 over the Giants. Zach Wilson went for 430 yards, 4 touchdowns, did get sacked 4 times, which I don't like seeing that, given the importance and investments we've made on the offensive line, but it was enough to get a very big shootout victory, a classic, and second place in the East, because I think if we would have lost, we could have been on the tail end. I think we lost to the Patriots twice, so maybe that was a tiebreaker. Either way, don't worry about it. We're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. Back-to-back seasons. Take a look at the stats here for your beloved New York Jets. No top 3, but that's fine. Zach Wilson crushed it. 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns, 8 picks. Let's go. Go to your Breece Hall. 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. We got 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns for Elijah Moore. 9-4 for Wilson. 9-6 for Davis. 9-8 for the rookie Mateo Feliz. Hopefully that's in some way, shape, or form we can get him up to a star dev. That was really my one big goal on offense, was the tight end that we really liked. Let's make him that much better. CJ Mosley led the team with 128 tackles, 4 picks as well. Over 100 tackles for Kenneth Murray, Whitehead, and Bryce Hall. And in the sacks front, 11 sacks, 15 TFLs from Quinnen Williams. Those are very good numbers. I mean, the fact that we got 2 D tackles that are putting up these type of numbers makes me very happy. Our pass rushers, not so much. Jermaine Johnson, the breakout superstar, only 3.5 sacks. I think we could probably say goodbye to that dev trait. 4 picks, Mosley leading the team. Come on, Sauce. Get it going, bud. I want 9 picks from Sauce Gardner in at least 1 year of this rebuild. MVP goes to Justin Herbert. We have in the AFC Offensive Player to go Derrick Henry. TJ Watt defensive. Feliz is the offensive rookie of the year. So that bodes well for a dev trait. Up to a star. Defensive rookie there goes to Calvin White. We didn't really have anybody in that conversation. For the individual awards, nothing for our Jets. So everything right now needs to shift our focus to defeating the Cincinnati Bengals and getting our first playoff victory as a team here. Zach Wilson's first playoff victory. Salah's first freaking playoff victory, and we got it. There we go, 35-28 in a game that Zach Wilson played well. We can actually show the rest of the team here. 86 yards, Breece Hall. Sprinkle, 2 vultures right there. 100 yards for Elijah Moore. CJ Mosley, 8 tackles, had an interception. We got some pressure. Jermaine Johnson got literally like half his regular season sacks in 1 game. Who'd have thunk it? He's actually pretty good. So we go on to the next round, take on the Buffalo Bills. I will say right now, we play the Bills 4 times, just as me, Sim, and I go week to week. And not once have we beat the Bills. So what better time than that? We're actually a better overall. Well, they're 85, we're an 87. But Josh Allen is a monster in this game this year. And I think that that's kind of what we ran into. It was close, but we're still not quite on the Bills level. I think we need another year. I think next year we can truly challenge for them and have enough around Zach Wilson that we can keep pace and keep up with Josh Allen. But we got our first victory in losing to, you know, one of the two best teams in the AFC in year 2 of a freaking Jets rebuild. It's still a pretty good starting point. For Feliz, we'll upgrade him into the possession. We want him to be a well-rounded tight end. And when you go with the possession, you do get some decent blocking upgrades. Oh, what? Double! He just gets the star dev. I'm gonna guess that star dev is based off of his stats compared to tight ends. And then offensive rookie of the year, superstar dev, Mateo Feliz. That makes up for that outside linebacker miss all damn day. Let's go. 2023 season recap. The Bills defeated the Bucks 31-21 in the Super Bowl. Ed Oliver is the MVP. So at least it's not a silver lining, because in a rebuild, when a team within your own division wins the Super Bowl, the pressure's on. But at least we lost to the team that went on to win a Super Bowl. Looking at our roster, I'll tell you right now, pleasantly surprised. We didn't lose any dev traits. We gained one in Feliz, 2 for Feliz. And that's actually a lie. Laken Tomlinson went down dev. He was star, now he's down to normal. So either we're going to prioritize really this left guard spot in the draft with our first pick, or we got Brooks here who might be able to step up eventually. I don't know yet. On the defensive side of the ball, Johnson somehow keeps his dev trait. I don't know how that happens, but he did. So kudos to him. He worked really hard. Last year, I would be annoying for him to, you know, anytime a young player, especially like that, just going into the prime, loses a dev. It's frustrating, but he held on to it. Maybe it was the TFLs that helped him out, but my God, look at Feliz at tight end. That's a win and gives us some great momentum to carry into year 3. We had no money to sign anybody in free agency. I think we had like $17 million worth of cap. We got the 5th-year option for Zach Wilson. We have to pay Mekhi Becton and Kenneth Murray next year. So I thought it was best to kind of sit the sidelines. Hopefully we can crush the draft. And our only piece of business before the draft is picking up this 5th-year option on Zach Wilson. And I suppose we'll do the same for AVT up on the offensive line. We're here at pick 25 in the first round. 3 positions that we need. 1 is wide receiver, because we moved on from Corey Davis. We need that next wide out. Nothing looks crazy. I got a little appeal from Sheldon Miller because of the speed. 4.24. So that, you know, for me, that's at least a dev trait. I don't know what the base rating is, but that's going to be at least a dev trait. So that's something to kind of pocket there a little bit. We could also continue to try and get, you know, aggressive after a linebacker. And then we have 2 pretty good options here. Rossum from Florida State got that A tackle. We have Muldrow in the 2nd round, 3rd round potentially. Like, maybe be aggressive and try to get him and not let this one slip through the cracks like the linebacker last year. But again, that's not like really a first rounder. So I think all things considered for the time being, we'll gamble speed and hopefully traits here, because it's not too often you see a wide receiver that has 4.24 and deep route running. So he's going to be an absolute burner. That's going to be able to guy that can play on the outside with Garrett Wilson, and then we can keep Elijah Moore in the slot. 93 acceleration, but got the 99 speed. Good enough for me. What actually is a better way of doing these trades in draft? Because I want to move up. I want to get that linebacker. We have the Raiders here. Just ask what they want. For their 2nd pick, they want our 2, a 4, and a 7. I have no problem paying that. We actually have 2 4s this year, so we still have our 3rd round selection. But with that trade, we are able to go in here now, pick 13 up from 25 into the 2nd round. We are not letting Muldrow go. I feel like this guy could be a great player. A pursuit, A tackle. 40-yard dash, not the best, but the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle, which is arguably more important. First. Oh, there's no dev. And I'm so much chasing that linebacker. We got another one. It's a little bit later. I'm going to reach. So we got George Logan. He got the A-zone coverage. Give me my goddamn hit a dev linebacker. For the love of God, thank you. This guy looks very good. Ooh, a little spice here in the 4th round. Got Rashawn Jones, the guard from South Carolina, pops with a dev trade. Draft recap. I'm feeling pretty good about this draft class. Even though we traded up for a guy that was normal dev, we got Sheldon Miller, 75. I thought the rating was going to be a little bit lower than that, because we drafted him for speed only. But he's coming in. I mean, his catching without the boost did not look pretty, but at least we got the +5 there, 83 catching. 90. I mean, he's an athlete. There's no other way around. He's an athlete right now, but hopefully he can develop into that outside wide receiver for us. We got Muldrew, 73. So trading up for a 73, I can live with that. But we don't even need that. We got George Logan, who's also a 73. He's also a pass coverage linebacker, and he does have the hidden dev. So I'd be, if I'm Ernest Jones, I'm a little bit worried right now about George Logan coming into the fold. Rashawn Jones, our hidden dev guy in the 4th round, 74. Wow. That's probably the value pick of the draft. You could even argue more so than Logan, but absolute domination in the 3rd and 4th rounds. Rest of the draft wasn't the best. We did get a 72 wideout here pretty late, but for the most part, just depth guys down there. But I will take 3 hidden dev players, a potential trade piece, maybe long-term, and Muldrow here. Not a bad draft at all. Patting myself on the back here. 99 speed. Let's go. The purge is going to happen here at tight end as we're going through our roster. Conklin can free up about $5 million in salary cap. Uzama, about $6 million. That is going to help us be a little bit more aggressive next year in free agency. And we don't need them with our superstar Feliz Navidad here at tight end. I think the same in terms of just having available salary cap. Laken Thompson, there's almost $10 million there. I would keep him if he had like a mentorship tag, but he doesn't. So we'll just make a clean break and give Danny Brooks an opportunity to play right away here in year 3. Year 3 for the New York Jets as far as changes for this lineup. Was a very light free agency period. Nothing happened outside of 5th-year options. So we're going to go with Jones at left guard. I thought about Brooks, but Jones does have the dev trait, so you might as well go with the higher ceiling player. And we're going to go with Miller, 1st-round draft pick at wide receiver. Him and Wilson are going to be on the outside. Elijah Moore in the slot. On the defensive side, I'm doing a little bit of a gamble. Mosley was good last year, but the regression is on. He's at his ceiling. I wonder if, does he actually have the mentor tag? He's a guy that could be in line for one of those mentor tags. And he does have it, which is going to help our linebackers out. But we got to go. We got to commit right now. It's year 3. We need Logan. He can't lose a year of that development. And Ernest Jones is only 24. So we're going to go with the 3 younger linebackers. Maybe won't get as much production, but I think it'll be better for the long-term growth of this team for years 3, 4, and 5. Safeties, corners, all remain the same. Specialists, we're going to go Reed in the slot, Moore in the slot. This is shaping up. I'm saying 10 wins, 11 wins. We're making the playoffs at minimum. Let's lock it in. The contract extension period, I was kind of hoping to have all of our rookies dev trade unveiled. We're still waiting on Logan here, but on the offensive side of the ball, Jones at guard is star, but look at Miller. 4-2-4 at a Clemson. Pops a superstar dev trait. Really good. We have a healthy amount of salary cap room for extensions, $101 million, because we're going to be throwing around a lot of money. First up is Ernest Jones. We'll give him a 4-year deal. I'm actually thinking about maybe moving him into middle linebacker eventually. I think he's better suited to be in there, maybe be the true successor to CJ Mosley. Don't need to have 2 running backs, even though I really do like Michael Carter. But we have Kenneth Murray Jr., who is just playing on his 5th-year option. We'll give him we'll start here a little bit low, and he hopefully takes it, which he does. We still got $90 million of salary cap. DJ Reed, solid. I mean, there's no dev trait there. We'll offer him this 3-year. If not, we might be able to, hit on a better corner, more upside corner in the draft. And I think we will move on. I don't really like that price point. Even though 27 is not super old. We got Becton, the big ticket. Pretty much, what do you want? What are you looking for is what I'll pay you. We'll give you a very player-friendly deal. Get him locked up. Can't replace. They don't, superstar right tackles don't grow on trees. And lastly, Elijah Moore. We will give him a we'll start player-friendly, and if not, we'll go very player-friendly, but he takes that deal as well. We signed all of our big targets, still have $53 million. So hey, even in speaking in DJ Reed's case, maybe there's going to be a big-time upgrade at corner that we can reinvest in. Year 3 for the Jets. We cannot win the division. Very close. Dolphins must have had some sort of tiebreaker. Holy, Christian Kirk going off. 11-6 is still a very acceptable record. I'm not going to be too upset about any of that. And I'm happy that we got a superstar wide receiver in the draft. That's pretty cool. Whoa! Weird year to Zach Wilson. The only way this is acceptable is if Breece Hall went off, because that means our passing production got converted to rushing production. Not really. Down year for Zach Wilson. You got to call it what it is, and not great playing on the 5th-year option. Next year he's going to be looking for probably a $100 million contract. Little worried. We probably committed too much to Zach Wilson to move on from him, but we might have to consider that, all things considered, given what his contract demands likely will be next year. Good year to Breece Hall, though. Still take 1,400 yards. We had 1,000 yards for Elijah Moore, 9 and 9 for Garrett Wilson, 8 and 4 for Lees. Miller went for 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. On the defensive side, Kenneth Murray, 120 tackles, 11 TFLs, 4 interceptions. Logan, the rookie, 118 tackles, 2 picks. Happy with that. 12 sacks, Lawson, 11.5 Franklin Myers, 11.5 Quinn Williams, 9 from Jermaine Johnson. So those, if we can just keep those for the remainder of the rebuild, we will have a very satisfactory pass rush. Interception, Sauce, 3 picks. I like seeing that. And obviously our linebackers making some plays. Even Mosley finding a way to get on the field as our third linebacker. Yearly Awards MVP goes to Lamar Jackson. Congratulations to him. Second two-time MVP. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Mahoney. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Goodwin. Would have been nice for Logan to pop one of those, but it is what it is. And then for the rest of the awards, we're not seeing a whole lot there. What we are seeing is a lot of Jags. And that's who stands in our way here in the first round of the playoffs. 13 and 4 Jags are probably upset they don't have the first round bye. And they absolutely took it out all on us. Smoking us 34. Did at least Zach Wilson look good? Did we get anything to be like, man, Zach Wilson at least played good football? Yeah, he got outplayed by Trevor Lawrence. 2024 Super Bowl champ. No way. Commanders beat the Chargers. Wentz is, yeah, I mean, you know what? Carson Wentz redemption. Good for him, man. Thanks for everything you did for the Eagles that one year in 2017. Looking at our squad in terms of devs, nothing has really happened on offense. We did have a little dev pop on the defense. Ernest Jones goes from normal up to a star, and that's about it. And really, I wanted to get a corner in free agency. We have $80 million of salary cap room. And I was thinking about J.C. Horn, but like when you get into this territory of guys that are like low 80s, like there's no superstar, there's no X factor, the best guys in like over the hill. Let's just go to the draft and just keep rolling over this cap room. Probably got to pay for Zach Wilson, and then if it does get closer to a Super Bowl or bust, we can make it a big time signing, panic signing, if you will, next offseason. But our offseason will not be complete without a 5th-year option, picking up the 5th-year option on all 3 of our first-round picks. Sauce Gardner, we're picking it up. Jermaine Johnson, we're picking it up. Garrett Wilson, we're picking it up. That just started. We pick at 22, but we have found, he's actually the number 1 player overall on the board is Greg Haywood out of Vandy. But there are some great corners here. We have a top 5 in true talent, though, sitting, and we're not going to let him get taken over us. I will say, though, I am fully prepared. One common thing that I have found amongst all top 5 true talent scouted players is they all have normal devs. So hopefully Gilbert Phillips breaks that trend and he comes in top 5 true talent with a dev. Corner is very thin at the time. We need to make a move up for a corner. We're this late in the rebuild that draft picks, while we do want to be conscious of the fact we got to, when there's a good player, you got to go for it. Top 5 at a big position of need. If there's a dev trade, it's going to be pretty much a home run selection for the Jets here. If it's normal dev, fine, so be it. But I was just like, corners are going off the board, and all it takes is for one team to take Phillips over Davidson, and we're here, not that happy. So please don't be normal dev. Please don't be. Oh, yes, let's go! Gilbert Phillips. Beautiful. Then we had to wait all the way to the 4th round. I didn't even think about pre-record. This guy looked like he was just solid. Antonio Simmons to get that RB2 to step up for Michael Carter, and we got ourselves a little bit of a baller. We finished with the draft, just adding some depth, but very happy. Antonio Simmons, 71 hidden dev in the 4th round is great value, and we've got to get one of those generational players in our rebuilds yet, like those 85, 86 X factors. We haven't got an X factor. I hope Gilbert Phillips is the next. He looks like a great player. Going to play a lot here his rookie season. Very quick look at our squad here. Year 4, something I don't like is with the sim, we have the coach that, obviously our tree for Salah's filled out. We bought the thing that unveils a dev trait. We used it on the backup running back, which, I don't have a problem with that, I guess. But why use it on the backup running back when you have our first round pick with the hidden dev? Like, why not unlock that dev trait? Doesn't that seem more potent? That's a little bit weird, but that's just the nature of the sim, I suppose. But look at this team. The linebacking core this is the best the linebacking core has looked. This is the best the D-line has looked. This is the best the secondary has looked. This is the best the offensive line has looked. This is the best that every single spot has looked. I'm going for, honestly, 12 wins. Anything less than 12 wins, I'll be pretty upset. It's contract negotiating time. We're 4-6. We're below 500. I'll tell you what. a certain player on this team's not getting a contract extension until I see the big picture at the end of the year. That needs to be said. So we'll build up everyone around him. I mean, we're due to have a rebuild we've won the Super Bowl in every rebuild so far. So we're due to have a little bit of resistance, maybe a wrench thrown into the fold here. So we're going to hold off. We're going to literally sign everybody else first. And then we'll come back. And if Zach Wilson played well, if he's not the reason why we're struggling, we'll give him to the end of the season. If he could put, together a respectable stat line, we'll bring him back. If not, we're going to have to probably hope that we get some of that broken free agency mechanics. And we'll come back for Breece Hall as well. Broken free agency mechanics. Hopefully there's like a Justin Herbert or someone on the open market. Able to get Breece Hall re-signed. Gave him it took a 7-year deal. He's worth it. Man, I swear there's something with contracts and like if you don't re-sign. We went on an absolute tear to finish the season 11-6. Here I was actually kind of hoping maybe something crazy would have to happen this offseason surrounding the quarterback spot, but getting us into the playoffs, second place in the division, that is, at worst, got to be commendable for Zach Wilson and company. Even if he didn't play the best, he did not play very good at all. I still think we might have to move on. Absolutely not deserving of that franchise quarterback tag. Back-to-back seasons under 30 touchdowns. He's a game manager at this point, and game managers can start. Game managers can win in the NFL, but game managers don't get paid $100 million, which is what he's looking for. 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. Breece Hall, awesome. We got no wide receiver over 1,000 yards. Disappointing, but then again, just in general, our passing offense has been disappointing. I am a little worried. We might lose some dev traits here ahead of a year 5. That could be Super Bowl or bust. 200 total tacklers in Murray and George Logan. 11 sacks, Quinton Williams. 7.5, Jermaine Johnson. 5 picks, Jordan Whitehead leading the team. Pretty decent interception numbers, even though the sack numbers are a little bit low. This guy, Larry Inzerma, MVP. Alrighty. Looking at the rest of the awards for Jets. Jordan Whitehead gets DB of the year. He's on that star, so if he can go up to superstar, having that on I think it's going to be a pretty bad purge for our own dev traits here this upcoming little period that we get at the end of the season when they decide who's going up, who's going down. But we got a first playoff victory of this run. I say first because we are going to win a lot more. We're going to go on a Cinderella run. We beat the Colts 21-14. And next up is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett against Zach Wilson. And we can't get over the hump. Get a nice dub. 24-20. Ugh. Let me have Kenny Pickett. I got Justin Fields, for God's sake. Come on, man. Patch free agency. As we spend his upgrade, Jordan Whitehead does not. Wow. DB of the year. He got superstar, and then he lost a star dev. Huh. Well, we'll fix that. We're not even going to knock the Super Bowl where the Dallas Cowboys beat the Dolphins 41-7. We had no dev trait regression on offense. I'm shocked that these wide receivers aren't falling, especially Miller off that superstar back-to-back years under 1,000 yards. But here we are, Zach Wilson. We're gonna play a game of chicken, if you will. We're gonna let him hit the open market with the idea that there might be someone better, and then worst case, we just overpay a little bit to retain his services on the open market. Defensively, this is a great situation of how we will be playing with dev trait regression on, but we will interject when things are ridiculous. There's no way you get DB of the year and you have a regression. That's where we can step in, and we'll give Jordan Whitehead the superstar that he absolutely earned this past season. We also have Kenneth Murray Jr. from the year 1 trade to now a superstar starting outside linebacker. Very happy with that development as well. But let's go to the offseason with major question marks and uncertainty at the quarterback spot as we enter a year 5 Super Bowl or bust. Of course he is. At least there's no burned bridges. He still has a lot of interest coming back. And there's, I think we're paying probably $10 million more than what he got. But he's back. Man, I wish there was someone else there, though. For our final draft, we come in no real weaknesses. The only argument is that a third safety. Sometimes they get on the field in nickel, and we don't really have that third safety. So trying to take a swing. I looked at all the safeties that are here. Didn't do a lot of crazy scouting or anything like that this year. And I'm looking at this guy, Paul Landry out of Ohio State. 6 feet tall, 222 pounds, 8 hit power. We don't know the man. We don't know the zone. Got B tackle. The combine looks very good. 4.39 at his pro day. Be good. And he looks pretty good. Last pick I want to show. Can we put a little bit of pressure on Zach Wilson this year? We got lane marks. Not a lot of scouting. We got BBB for all of his accuracies. And his throw power is classified as great. So let's just, we got a nice little QB to apply a little bit of pressure. Get Zach Wilson looking over his shoulder. He's too focused on MILFs. Not enough focus on winning. So for our draft recap, Paul Landry, 75, hidden dev safety. That's it. We were hoping for a hit. This is absolutely a hit. And I mean, if you were doing like just a rebuild and you're going a little bit on the deep end here, great value. This was mid-round quarterback getting a 70. 92 throw power. Decent athlete. So again, just want the pressure to be on Zach Wilson. We got a 70 D tackle in the 3rd round. Hidden dev. This was all computer. I just had my favorites, I guess. Demarius Beckford. We'll take that for the hidden dev. Rest of the draft class, just solid depth at best. It is now time. Year 5 Super Bowl or bust. We've yet to not win a Super Bowl in any of our Madden 23 rebuilds. The pressure is on. This is our team. If we're going to go win a Super Bowl, we are going to have to do it with Zach Wilson. It wasn't for the lack of trying to improve the quarterback spot. It's just he's our best chance, man. He's our ride or die. O-line, elite. Got a great tight end. He's held on to his superstar. Wilson, Moore, Miller, Hall, let's go, man. This offense, you got to get 30 bumps. We can't be getting 26, 27 touchdowns with that offense for Zach Wilson. Defensively, we kept the core group of guys together. We got our 2 players we traded for, Murray and Jones. They've developed nicely. We've drafted some studs. Phillips, great player, top 5 true talent, able to go up, secure it. Logan, stud. This has been a great rebuild. The team building aspect has been phenomenal. A perfect mix of developing the young, fun players that are already on the Jets roster and sprinkling in some. Didn't have to sign anybody. It wasn't like this was a free agency period. We got Eric McCoy. Is that the only guy that we've actually straight up had to sign as like a new starter? I think so. So, I mean, this has been done by the book. It's a textbook rebuild. We need to be rewarded with a Super Bowl here in year 5. All or nothing, baby. Win the Super Bowl. I don't know how this happened. I see our offense passing. I think Zach Wilson still sucks, apparently. 29th in passing offense. We go 14-3. And I want to say I didn't expect it. But then when you see our team rating, 96 offense, 94 defense, 94 overall, I still generally think, as we see Breece Hall being top 3 in rushing leaders, I still think generally it's safe to say in Madden 23, the best team tends to win more than previous Maddens, which is important in a rebuild because the worst thing is when you do a 5-year rebuild, your team's a juggernaut, and like years 4 and 5, when your team's at its best, you still lose to like the 8 and 9 team that squeaked into the playoffs. Seems to be at least somewhat corrected here in Madden 23. Zach Wilson had a good year. Wasn't great. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks in these rebuilds go over 40, but you can still win a lot of games, clearly, with 37 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. 1,700 yards, Breece Hall, top 3 running back in the NFL this season. Receiving, we had 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, Elijah Moore. Again, it's just kind of, the rest of the numbers are just a result of our passing offense, lack of. Defensively, George Logan led the team, 126 tackles. We got 14.5 sacks out of the blue. Where has this been for Carl Lawson? That's like 2 seasons worth of stats for him. Coming in year 5, 12 sacks, Jermaine Johnson, 9.5, Quinton Williams, 8.5 for Franklin Myers, 4 picks, Whitehead leading the team. So, I mean, really happy with the defense. Salah got these guys firing on all cylinders. Inzerma is the MVP again. Salah wins Coach of the Year. Actually, I forgot to show. Last year, he was Coach of the Year as well. So, he's back-to-back Coach of the Year. We are ready to go on an absolute run. For the individual awards, doesn't matter. We got the first-round bye. Our team is the best team in the NFL. There is not another team that is going to be able to check us. And we start our Super Bowl or bust journey in the divisional round against Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that knocked us out of the playoffs last time. Also trying to think, is that our best record so far in the I think we've equaled 14-3. I don't know if we've had 15, 16, 17 wins yet. So, I mean, full kudos to the Jets. I mean, you look at the tail of the tape here. We level on defense, could be close. 23 sacks there for TJ Watt. But we have a great offensive line trying to keep Zach Wilson upright. And we are able to handle business 38-3. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for Zach Wilson. We hold Justin Fields to 85 yards passing. Congratulations. I don't know. Great game from Garrett Wilson, but the defense. 3 sacks, Jermaine Johnson. 2 for Franklin Myers. Couple singles there. We had the interception by Ashton Davis. Full kudos. I'm going to just say, Sauce Gardner locked somebody up. And now we are in the AFC Championship game. We're gonna hop in. We'll play the moments here. Sit front row. Step in if need be because I'm a little nervous of this Super Bowl or bust scenario. We are clearly in every single area a better team than the Bengals, but they have a better quarterback. 44 touchdowns this year for Joe Burrow. But I think if we can, lock down the Steelers offense, we have a good chance here against Cincinnati. But it's going to be tough with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. All right, in front of our home fans, a chance to make I don't know, was this the first time they've had a chance making a Super Bowl since like the 70s, since the Joe Namath days? And we're going against a team that, unfortunately, even though they did make a Super Bowl, perennial losers. So I don't know if that will play into factor, but both defenses playing this one pretty strong here. First touchdown goes to the Bengals, but we are marching our way down the field. We tied up at 10. Game is starting to get a little wide open here. We can finish up 17-17. We'll be the next team to strike. I think usually when you see that big yellow, it means a turnover, and it's been a lot of big yellow bars on the field for the New York Jets. Go for it on 4th down. Okay, we'll come in now. 3rd and 2. Need a touchdown. We'll go play action. You can look for Breece Hall out the backfield. We got more. The worst thing about these plays is that you try to roll out of the pocket as your quarterback, and that's an instant sack. PI. Holy, inaccurate throw, get bailed out. Pass interference on the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. Can we punch it in? We are able to punch it in. Tie it up at 24. Minute 53. We need this defense that shut down the Steelers to... All right. We'll come in. We got 99 speed Miller. That's got to be our guy. We'll put Breece Hall in pass pro. Wilson, Miller. We need a pink slips-esque ending here. Oh man, we have no timeouts. I should have known that. Should have looked at that. It's okay. We still got maybe 2 shots. This could be the last. Oh, no. No! I mean, you need the so close you can taste it, but still feel a mile away type rebuild results to make the times that we do win the Super Bowl mean a little bit more. It wouldn't be fun to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it would be fun, but it also wouldn't be fun if we won the Super Bowl every single rebuild. So to try to salvage this, let's at least look at the final 5-year stats for all of our players, and at least I can leave you Jets fans in particular with optimism that if you're going to play as the Jets in your Madden franchise mode, some of these guys are going to be absolute studs for you. I think a big thing comes down to the fact that Zach Wilson was never elite. It's tough. It's going to be really, really tough to win Super Bowls without an elite quarterback. And I don't know if it comes back to the Jets playbook. It's just not overly conducive. Because, I mean, we had an S-tier offense. And, Zach Wilson still, it felt like, was struggling. Had those 2 years below 30 touchdowns. I mean, we let him at the open market. I was trying to get an upgrade. And the upgrade didn't exist. It's not bad. 22,000 yards, 170 touchdowns to 60 picks. It's also not, it's not shocking we didn't win a Super Bowl with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Great from Breece Hall in 5 years, 7,500 rushing yards, 56 touchdowns. We have 6,000 yards for Elijah Moore, 50-plus tutties, 4,600 yards for Garrett Wilson. He was a little underwhelming. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on these wide receivers because we struggle throwing the football. If we had a better quarterback, Garrett Wilson probably has better stats. Same with Feliz, same with Miller. Defensively, in terms of homegrown talents, Quinton Williams, 61 sacks on 82 tackles. Sauce Gardner, 11 picks, so that's definitely on the low end for him through 5 years. I thought he'd play a lot better. He developed nicely, 94 overall, but never once got a dev trait and never once really got a bunch of interceptions. Jermaine Johnson, 266 tackles, 73 TFLs, 41 sacks. He was solid. Obviously went up to superstar, which was pretty good for us. Hall with 12 picks, 11 for Sauce. It's just, perfect timing. My daughter's waking up from that because I record rebuilds and then I go back to being a dad. So, that'll help me out here a little bit. A little disappointing, our first unsuccessful rebuild, but I still hope that you guys were entertained. And, we built a hell of a... If you turn to this to see the Jets get built into a juggernaut, we finished with a 97 overall offense, 94 overall squad. Just couldn't get it done, man. Close. 31-24, we fall to the Bengals in the championship game. So as always, guys, if we can hit and crush the 1,000 like goal in today's video to combat the YouTube robots, I would very much appreciate it. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below about what team you want to see rebuilt next in this style with generated classes, because the next two realistic rebuilds I think I want to do are almost locked into the Lions and the Bears. Or if you have a preference between which one you see first between the Lions and the Bears, leave that comment in the comment section below. But that'll do it for me here today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you're first time stopping by, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to hit 200,000 subscribers in this Madden 23 cycle. And I will see you guys back here on the next one. Peace out. Love ya.